Today is the 23rd of April 2019 at 39 minutes past 8 in the evening over here in the UK. And I've just got a few news reports that I just want to quickly bring to you guys as we're constantly looking out for certain events unfolding and developing. One of those events is the devolving of the peace talks between North Korea and the United States. And we've seen a lot of activity in North Korea in terms of continuing to develop nuclearization, also developing their submersible barge or submarine, their recent tactical weapons test, and now the US is kind of responding in a sense with a spy plane seen over Seoul after North Korea missile test, and this is kind of going back to the behaviors that were taking place when Kim Jong Un and North Korea were testing ballistic missiles and doing underground nuclear tests. So a US spy plane was reported to be hovering over the South Korean capital following new missile tests by Pyongyang. According to the daily Chosun Ilbo, an RC-135W rivet joint was scrambled over the Seoul metropolitan area after North Korea announced it was testing a new tactical guided missile last week. The plane chiefly captures remote signals generated when a ballistic missile is fired. So clearly they were looking out for ballistic missile test. That's not what it was, but considering the way things are going, it looks like there could be more provocations in the near future. Iran and Pakistan are to form a joint rapid reaction force at the border, and that's at the border between Iran and Pakistan. I just find it significant because in connection with the IPEC Goat 2 video, if Iran and Pakistan are kind of coming together around this border, this is the border between Iran and Pakistan, it leads out just to the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And recently in the news, there's talks of Iran threatening to shut the Strait of Hormuz again because the sanctions on the oil are due to come into more effect because the waivers that had been given to countries like China, India, South Korea are going to be removed come May the 2nd. So it's possible that around that time or maybe after that time we see Iran come out and block the Strait of Hormuz because obviously they won't be able to trade with any other countries, and that would essentially be a blockade on their oil, which they have said is a no-no for them. In connection with the IPEC Go 2 video, I think this might be the scene, or Osama bin Laden is from Pakistan, but I think this scene also references Iran, which we've talked about numerous times. So if it's a combination of the two, you've got Pakistan, Iran forming this joint border force initiative, and at the same time, you had the flooding in Iran, which we seem to be, floating on this iceberg kind of thing, which is interpreted as a ship, and moving towards the Strait of Hormuz, where the border with Pakistan and Iran would kind of give you that impression, shut it off here, or more likely shut it off here, at a more narrow bend. So things to keep our eyes on in terms of the sanctions that are coming into place. Iran has put into place a new leader for the Revolutionary Guard, and this is significant. It's kind of like the same move as Donald Trump putting John Bolton in charge. He's a person who has bellicose rhetoric against Iran, and this person that they put in charge in Iran is pretty much the same, but the opposite. So he's has that kind of rhetoric against the United States. And obviously, at this time where things are going to start heating up because of these sanctions, it seems like a significant move that they put someone like that in charge. And obviously, as I've been saying, Iran is ready for the US waivers to end as the Guard threatens to close the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran is prepared for a US decision to end waivers granted to buyers of Iranian oil. And as I said, that comes into effect May 2nd. This report just goes into a little bit more detail about that. Russia has floated out its first nuclear sub that will carry the Poseidon strategic underwater drones. So there's no reports of the Poseidon actually being on this nuclear sub that they've deployed, but it is a sub that can carry it. And again, just being in the watch time, the recent interpretations that I've done, like for April 27th, and the possibility of something happening in the UK, and also the possibility of something happening tsunami-wise linked to a submarine, is significant that the Poseidon is now, you know, able to be deployed if it hasn't been deployed already. So that's again something to keep our eyes on. North Korea's Kim Jong-un is to meet Putin on Thursday, so that is the 25th. This will be the first meeting between these two leaders ever, so something very significant again. We don't know what's going to come out of this, but later on they're then going to be going to China and having the Belt Road Initiative summit in China there, so something more significant happening, and that's all happening just coming up towards the end of April. I think the summit is around the 28th, and obviously we've got a couple of things looking out for around 27th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th of April. Just that last section of April there, we seem to have a lot of things transpiring. Obviously, China is one of the countries that was buying oil from Iran, and they're also the country that is in trade talks with the United States. And I feel that if the United States isn't going to give China a waiver to buy Iranian oil, then that will be reflected in the trade deal talks, which we may see take a step backwards or collapse completely, which could lead to the markets plunging and accompany the fact that the trade war with China could collapse and the Iranians could block the Strait of Hormuz. We have this whole kind of thing connecting together, markets plunging, and in this scene, just as it moves on a little bit further, you see how the oil is affected, slows down to a drip, and obviously you've got situations with Venezuela at the same time, so they're an oil-rich country, at least they were, still are. Probably some distribution issues at the moment, but yeah, there's a lot of issues around oil at the moment, and that is going to affect the markets, as well as if anything collapses in the China trade talks, we'll see that plunge that we've been looking out for. Apart from all that, if we do make it past April 27th, April 30th, May 1st, May Day, there's the possibility, I'd say, at the moment. Obviously, the UK is just hearing about this news and has not yet voiced its opposition to Donald Trump coming to this country. But as of now, he will be visiting in June, and that will be around June 3rd. I suspect by then the royal baby will have been announced. I didn't want to say born, I'll just say announced. So it seems like there's a lot of significant events again leading from here. 2019 is just very significant at the moment. Lots of different events happening, and we're just keeping watch on as many as we can. When I look at this picture here with Donald Trump and the Queen, I just think there's just one person missing there, the Pope, and then you'd have the trifecta of the kind of society that they want to bring in, well, at least eliminating those three in terms of the church, the state, and the crown, and then having this whole new world order thing come in. So that's pretty much all the news I wanted to discuss, and just a very quick sort of feeling I had when I first viewed this Google Doodle. It just kind of stuck out to me, the color scheme and the way that they've drawn the G on the shield with the cross going through it. It just again reminded me of the underground tube sign. The colors are inverted. The circle would normally be in red, and the line across would normally be in blue. And then I was thinking, the first thing that came to my mind was King's Cross, and King's Cross is a station in central London. The other color that came out in this color scheme for me was the yellow, so the red, blue, and the yellow. And I'm just thinking red, blue, the London Underground sign. The yellow could possibly link to the circle line. Again, it's the whole something happening on the tube network. Not exactly sure, but that's what I'm seeing. That's, I don't know, the feeling I'm getting this whole section of Circle Line pretty much encompasses the whole central London. So again, the monuments and things that we talked about: St Paul's Cathedral, Tower of London, Tower Bridge, Big Ben. If anything happened underground around this kind of circle line, then it would probably affect, things going on above, and that would be like the monuments in those areas. Kind of a different way of approaching it. This is a different way of looking at it on Google Maps. You can just see the yellow line going around. That is the Circle Line, and it just encompasses the centre of London. Hyde Park, that place on watch for the marathon, that's also included in the Circle Line area. So I just wanted to put that out there. I haven't done much research on it. I just wanted to present it because as I clicked on a new tab to do a new search, I saw this new Google Doodle, and I looked at this and immediately I thought, tube sign, red and blue, and then the yellow just made me think of the Circle Line, King's Cross, all seem to just kind of pile in at once. So I don't know what to do with it apart from present it to you guys and hopefully watch and see that nothing happens. But just in case it does, we'd know that perhaps there was something foretold in this particular image. That's it, you guys. I am done. Just a quick recap on what I've covered. The US has got a spy plane, or had a spy plane, in Seoul, just kind of monitoring North Korea and their tactical weapons test that they had recently. Iran, a lot of things going on there. Sanctions are about to, the waivers for the sanctions on some of these countries that were still allowed to buy the oil is due to expire on May 2nd. Obviously, I know there's a lot of people watching May Day. I also will be watching it. Last year I had a video for May Day, so I'm going to watch it again this year, but obviously it follows straight after April 30th, which I do have as a watch, so perhaps we'll see something, hopefully, and pray that we don't. China having their meeting with North Korea and Russia soon. Russia and North Korea having their meeting very soon. Donald Trump coming to the UK, meeting with the Queen very soon. So a lot of significant meetings between these different world leaders happening soon. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.